You ever just have a good cry? Just let it all out every once in a while? Or, every night? Some people listen to sad music or watch sad movies. Maybe a romance, it doesn't have to be all sad. Fact is, it's healthy to just cry sometimes. And whenever I need a good crying session, I watch anime. Because a lot of anime are depressing. Or happy, which still hurts my soul. It's actually crazy how much anime will make someone shed tears. And looking through my Mal page, I can say probably about 70% of these series has made me tear up in some way. So I'm going to talk about a couple of scenes that made or still make me cry. So spoilers for everything. And also like the video and sub to the channel. Let's start with something less depressing. Bocchi the Rock isn't something you would think any ordinary person would cry during. I mean, it's a fun and hilarious series. But I'm no ordinary person. So episode 8, we have Kaseko Band playing their first show, and it's the fan fast. There's a storm going on, so not many people showed up, which sucks because the day before they made rain charms to ward off the storm, and Bocchi was actually looking forward to playing. The few people that did show up aren't very interested in their band, some of them are on their phones, and on top of that, their playing is off, Nijiga's drumming is slow, and Kita's making a lot of mistakes. They're clearly bombing up there, they're not playing the way they usually do, and they sound like a bunch of amateurs. But Bocchi refuses to let it stay that way, so she opens up the next song with a powerhouse of a riff, capturing every person's attention, breaking down their doubts and giving the band the push they needed. Bocchi being this determined is a huge step. Her social anxiety stops or scares her from doing a lot of things. But with no hesitation, she stands tall and brave to play her best, fighting through her tears with everyone's eyes on her. Bocchi proves to the audience, to her band, and herself that they are good enough. And you know what? When I was watching this, I was going through a lot with my anxiety. Still am, but not as much. I was feeling a lot of self-doubt, so I guess seeing Bocchi being brave, taking this big step, and not giving up, it just got me my feels. Next is K-On!, and there's one scene most people cry during. The build up to this moment is already tough. The realization Azusa has that the others are moving on, the constant image of them smiling and looking excited to graduate, Azusa just doesn't know how to feel. She's of course happy for them, but she's mostly sad to see them go, and this makes her conflicted. She tries to keep it together and smile while giving them thank you letters, but after she sees their diplomas, her voice starts to quaver with sadness. She asks them to stay just one more year. She tries to bargain with them, promising to change for them, tears building up more and more as she drops to the ground. Then Yui runs to comfort her, while giving Azusa a picture of them, with her face now added to the photo, and a flower with 5 petals that represent the 5 of them. Aww. Then everyone gets their instruments so they can perform a song for her they all wrote together. They even sing their own parts, as if they all got to say goodbye in their own words. These are bittersweet tears. The I'm good but dead inside kind of tears. I mean, moving on and leaving a good thing in the past, it's a hard thing to do. And they captured that feeling so well. The song lyrics talking about the time they spent together, the lighting from the sunset, giving that melancholic end of day feel, the emotion pouring out of the characters. Kyoto Animation really knows how to make anything depressing. Naruto Shippuden has a couple of tear-jerking moments, but there's one scene that'll stick with me forever. The episode is very different start to finish. It's really well animated. The lighting is dark and gloomy, the shots and scene transitions are much more cinematic than usual. Every scene is quiet with barely any music. It all works together well to capture the aftermath of Asuma's death. The episode mostly follows Shikamaru, building up the way he's handling his passing. He didn't show up to the funeral, he's much calmer than everyone else, he keeps lighting Asuma's lighter, he isn't eating. Shikamaru is clearly going through it, he's just bottling up his emotions. Then later, Shikamaru's dad wants to play a game of shogi with him. He can see how Shikamaru is feeling, so he starts to pick him apart, asking about the mission, if the Akatsuki were strong, what's his plan now, bombarding him with questions that are clearly upsetting him, getting Shikamaru to lower his defense and admit his faults. Then his dad tells him to let it out. All his anger, sadness, and fear. to just let it go. His emotions he's been bottling up start to come out, and when his dad leaves to give him space, Shikamaru lets out a chilling scream as he cries. Honestly, Shikamaru breaking down gets to me, since he's usually cool and calm, but also this just feels like a moment only a father and son could have. His dad being tough on him and calling him out so he can drop his guard then open up, just to get him to mourn properly. This scene does a really good job capturing a father-son relationship, and the length any parent would go for their child. Working as an auto-memory doll, Violet has written a lot of letters, but when she spends a week writing for a terminally ill woman, we're given the most sad episode of the entire series. So these letters are clearly final words for the recipient, but we aren't told who they're for. And this woman has a 7-year-old daughter, so I mean, they're probably for her. Her daughter's name is Anne, and this poor girl has to deal with the fear of her mother passing away at any moment. She wants to spend as much time with her as she possibly can, but while Violet writes these letters, they do so in private, for hours, sometimes the entire day. Outside of working on these letters, Anne's mother has to rest, so she plays and spends time with Violet. They do all the things she'd much rather do with her mom, but can't, because she's mostly busy throughout the day. Anne feels like her mom is being taken away from her, and she eventually grows frustrated. She's had enough, and one day Anne sees her mother in pain, so she runs outside to her, then breaks down and begs her mom to stop. Anne lashes out, asking if these letters are more important than her, calling her mom a liar for saying she'd get better. Anne knows she'll be all alone once she's gone. She just wants her to forget about these letters and spend the time she has left with her. Then Anne runs away down the road, and Violet goes after her. Anne made her mom cry, so she feels like she's a bad person. She thinks her mom is sick because she was a bad girl. Anne doesn't think these letters matter, that they aren't important. But Violet tells her there is no such thing as a letter that doesn't deserve to be delivered. A common theme in this series. After Violet finished her job and leaves, Anne got to finally spend time with her mom. Then not long after, she passed away. But that year on her birthday, a letter came for her. It was from her mom, reminding her not to give up hope, no matter how sad or overwhelmed she may feel, letting her know she loves her very much. Then a letter came on her 10th birthday, asking if she's grown out of the games she used to play. On her 18th birthday, she reads the letter asking about her love life. And on her 20th birthday, her mom reminds her adults are allowed to complain sometimes, and whenever she's down, to remember, she's always watching over her. Anne's mom had Violet write letters for the next 50 years, so she can always be there for her, making her never feel alone, always reminding her each time that she loves her. This entire episode is so heartbreaking. Like, Anne sees her mom's health declining every day. She knows she doesn't have much time left. So I understand her frustration, not being able to spend as much time as possible with her. The feeling of losing her before she's even gone. And she kinda just has to go along with all of it, because she's a kid. It's just so sad. Also, the ending theme playing over the letters being delivered, it kills me every time. Man, half of these are Kyoto Animation series. They take home the gold for making me the most depressed. And that completes this list. You know, anime gets a bad rep from those who don't watch it. They think it's for kids, or they all have tentacles. I mean, yeah, there are some cultured anime out there for sure, but not all of it is like that. I can forgive the misconception, but some people suggest anime lacks substance, which just isn't true. Every series from slice of life to horror has structure, has a vision, but most importantly, they have heart. Okay, some don't, but most do, and it's that heart that brings a series to life, and can make you not only relate to characters or a story, but also connect and become invested, and that makes it pretty easy to get emotional during an episode. There's so much more out there, so eventually I'll come back with a part 2. Well, hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.